So we've all seen AI do some pretty cool stuff, right? Write poems, answer trivia, that kind of thing. But what comes next? What if an AI could do more than just talk? What if it could actually act? Today, we're going to explore that exact leap from an AI that just gives you answers to one that actually takes action. Okay, check this out. On the left, you've got your typical language model. It gives you an approximate answer because it's really just predicting what text should come next. It's a good guess, but it's still a guess. Now look at the right. This is completely different. This AI doesn't guess. It sees a math problem, realizes it needs help, and actually calls on a calculator tool. It gets a precise result and then gives a perfect answer. This is the huge difference between knowing about something and actually doing it. And that really gets to the heart of it all. How do we get from an AI that's basically a talking encyclopedia to one that's a tool for getting things done? To get there, we first have to understand the core problem. You see, even the most powerful AI models today have this kind of invisible wall that really limits what they're capable of. Here's a really simple way to think about it. Imagine a brilliant intern. This person has read every single book in a massive library. They know an incredible amount of stuff. But all of their knowledge is based on when those books were printed. They're totally locked away from the outside world. No internet, no phone, nothing. And being stuck in that locked library creates some very real problems. The AI can't get any up-to-the-minute information. Sometimes it even hallucinates, which is just a fancy way of saying it makes things up to fill in the gaps. It's not great with precise math because it's just predicting numbers, not actually calculating them. And of course, it has no idea what day it is. It's completely stuck in the past. So how do you help our brilliant intern? Well, it's simple. You give them a phone. Or, in the case of an AI, you give it a set of digital tools to finally connect to the outside world. First, you give it a calculator. Boom! Immediately, the problem with fuzzy math is gone. No more guessing, just precise, reliable answers every single time. Next, you give it a search engine. All of a sudden, that old library of data isn't a limitation anymore. It can look up current events, it can fact-check things, and it can access information that is constantly being updated. And finally, you give it a calendar. Now, this might seem like a simple one, but it is a total game changer. For the first time, the AI can understand context. It knows what today means, what yesterday was, and what next week is. Okay, so this is where things get really, really clever. Giving an AI tools is one thing, but how does it actually learn when to use the calculator instead of the search engine? Or when not to use a tool at all? I mean, you can't possibly program a rule for every single scenario. The answer is, you don't teach it. You create a system where the AI can actually teach itself. And this is the truly mind-blowing part of this whole concept. The key word here is autonomously. The model is deciding on its own when to use a tool. It's not just following a pre-written script, it's learning from experience. So how does this actually work? Well, it's a simple three-step loop. First, the AI scans some text and finds a spot where a tool might come in handy. Second, it tries using the tool and gets a result. And finally, this is the important part. It asks itself, did that result help me predict the next word more easily? If the answer is yes, it learns that using that tool was a good move. It's a constant feedback loop where the AI basically rewards itself for making smart decisions. So this self-teaching, tool-using model, what do you call something like that? Well, it's got a name that perfectly describes what it does. The entire approach that we've been walking through here comes from a research paper that was published by a team over at Meta AI. They call it Toolformer, a language model that learns to form a plan and use tools to get it done. Makes sense, right? And this just shows you how incredibly powerful this approach is. On a math test, a standard model scores a pretty pathetic 7.5%. Even the much, much larger GPT-3 only gets to 14%. But now look at Toolformer. It's the same size as that first smaller model, but just by giving it a calculator, its accuracy shoots up to over 40%. It's not about being bigger, it's about being smarter with the right tools. This whole shift has some really profound implications. It changes the very nature of what an AI is. We're moving it from a passive assistant to an active agent. So what's the difference? Well, think of it this way. An assistant provides you with information. It's a knowledge base you can talk to. But an agent completes tasks. It takes actions on your behalf. It's not just a source of answers, it's a collaborator that can actually do things for you in the digital world. And that idea opens up a whole new frontier for what we can build and what we can automate. The future of AI isn't just about better conversations, it's about action. So what does this look like in the real world? Imagine an AI that doesn't just tell you about flights, but actually goes and books them for you. Or a research assistant that finds the papers you need and summarizes them. How about an AI that checks everyone's calendar and just schedules a meeting for you automatically? Each of these examples moves AI from being a passive encyclopedia to an active partner, and that's the future that Toolformer is pointing to. This brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. This technology is no longer just about knowing things, it's about doing things. So when these AI agents become widespread, able to act for us all across the internet, what will be the very first thing that we ask them to do? That's something to think about.